All right, it is about 4:18 on April 23rd, and we're here just outside the maintenance building at the Gridley County Fairgrounds, and we're standing out in front of panel C. We're going to start our survey of the conditions of the electrical system as they were found by Native Electrical. Will Hobbs is going to narrate what we're looking at here.
Okay, so what we have here is we have a bus tap coming in, feeding a 200 amp disconnect fused. Then it is tapped to multiple loads. All of these loads in the bus tap are not identified. There's a total of 1, 2, 3 loads.
Identified on what?
Identified on the design drawings. Okay. Then we have a transformer. Once again, this is just solely tapping the neutral and then going off to the unidentified load that we still haven't discovered what it is.
What's the condition of the conduit under these boxes?
Now we have irrigation conduit intertwined with electrical conduit. Definitely not the work of a professional electrician. If we come in here, we can see those bus taps as discussed. We can also see,
go ahead.
We can also see when we get in here the bus taps that occur.
And go ahead and describe them.
You want me to take the camera?
Sure.
So here on the bus bar, we can see multiple bus taps with the lugs and the conductors landed on them. We've got a condition here where they've double tapped the neutrals. Many of the circuits, specifically the shop circuit, conductors aren't rated for the breaker that they're currently installed on. We come down on this side, we can see additional bus taps.
And what is a bus tap?
A bus tap is a unprotected source of power. It's tapped into the line side, and they are legal in some instances. There is the 5-foot and 10-foot tap rule. However, these taps aren't to code due to the fact that they're feeding multiple loads, lugs are double landed, and conductors are undersized. All of these issues were addressed in our panel schedules submitted with our RFIs. The county elected not to make any of these corrections. Don't see any ground rod or grounding electrode means. I do see equipment grounding conductors. However, they're just attached to the frame, as you can see there. However, it's not apparent that the frame is bonded to ground. Additionally, the loads in here were not accurately identified.
On what?
With the design drawings. Consequently, when we ordered the gear, we ordered it to the design, and when the gear showed up, it didn't account for the loads that weren't identified in the design.
How is this condition right now unsafe?
Well, the first item would be the grounding. The second item would be conductors not rated for the power that they're providing. The third condition would be the bus taps and the manner in which they've been performed. And the neutral conductors. Doubled up on lugs. That once again are bus tapped.
What does it mean to be doubled up on a lug?
Well, we can look here and we can see that there's 2 screws in that lug to connect those 2 wires. So in that instance, that's a correct installation. If we look up here, and we see that there's only one screw with multiple lugs under it. That's an improper installation.
A lug being a conductor, a wire?
A lug is what the conductor attaches to.
Okay.
It's got that hex head that you compress down on the wire to keep it in place. Here on the breaker labeled Electroleer South, we can see a condition where the power conductors were double landed on lugs, which is a huge violation. I don't see the rating of this breaker here, but we've got we've got two varying sizes of conductors, and we've also got, no, they're both aluminum. So conductor type's consistent, however sizes aren't, and they're fed from the same breaker, with the second load not being identified. So there's multiple violations in that installation.
Such as?
Such as two wires being landed under the same lug, wires being undersized for the source that is being provided. I don't see any grounding with those conductors, and it's quite possible that it doesn't require a neutral, but actually it looks like there is a, nope, that's a hot. So even between these conductors, we can see that this conductor, this red conductor, and this black conductor are for the same load. However, the sizes are different. And I believe one is copper and one is aluminum.
And is that improper?
That is improper. I can't verify that though, but you can see that they're definitely two different sizes, and they're double landed on lugs for the breaker. So it appears that they had a breaker in place and they needed additional power, and instead of installing an additional breaker where they had space, it was less expensive or more accommodating to just double up. I'll leave them with you.
You can leave with me, yes.
Okay.
Cool.
You got it, Chris. I think that's it, Kevin.
Okay. We got it record off. So where do the loads that we see here in this gear go to?
It appears that they go in an underground raceway, steel raceway, and the raceway at that time could have been used as a ground. However, we can see that this equipment is older, and those grounds were not measured or tested, determined to be safe. It's very likely that they're not safe, and it's very likely that the conductor's insulation has deteriorated over time as well. So I think we've got a situation where not only do conductors need to be replaced and sized properly, underground conduits need to be replaced and grounded properly.
Anything else to add at this location before we move on?
Not that I can think of.